Hi there, this is Art and Such with part 1 of my Judy Jetson design for the rainbow loom. You will need to check out my additional features video first to learn how to make the puffs by the neck, the hair, the face extension, the bow, and the arms. So you do have to have those components ready. When you are ready, you can come back and get yourself a rainbow loom hook or crochet hook, your rainbow loom in the offset position with your middle row raised. This is the original configuration it comes with. You're going to need red and pink for the dress and the leggings, unless you've chosen a different color to use. Black for the hair, shoes, and bow, which you have already. White for the hair and a little bit for the shoes. And you're also going to need a skin tone. I would recommend a pink skin tone or a darker skin tone so that it doesn't blend in with the white, which will cause you confusion and leave you with less contrast. So we can start with the layout for the body. And we have 3 skin tone bands coming from the first peg to the second on the middle. 2 pink bands from the second peg on the middle to the second peg on the side. And we'll go down with 2 sets of doubles. These are all double bands. You'll do the same thing coming down the other side, so 2 sets down to the second on the closed side from the middle second, 2 sets coming down, 3 sets of pink doubles again going down the middle from the second peg to the third to the fourth, and the fourth to the fifth. And on each of your rows you'll put another 3 sets of double bands. This brings you to your 7th peg down. And from there you'll take 2 reds and bring those to the center 8th peg, and 2 from the other side's 7th peg to the one in the middle. Just hold that up for a second, and you might want to pause your video and get all of this down. Now you're ready to add the arms. So you can decide which way you want them to curve or point, and we're going to put all the bands onto the shoulder pegs, which are our second pegs from the top. I'm going to try to get them to face the same way as each other. Let's turn this around, put it on top again. So my arms are pointing up, and yours might point down. That's okay, either which way. You're going to take your shoulder pieces, and we're going to slip those on top. Actually, let's leave our shoulder pieces just for now. Maybe we'll slip those on over the neck piece instead when we get to it. And we are going to do some capping. So let's take a single pink and bring it across from our 3rd peg to our 3rd peg in a triangle band configuration. So it goes over the 3rd peg on the center as well. We're going to do our next band a little also loose, and the next band we're going to do a little tighter. So we'll take a red this time, double it over itself, and form a triangle band with this. We have room for 2 more loose bands. We can make extensions for the side. These are optional, but they will give it that extra puffiness. So to do that, you're going to need to take a single and wrap it, and this is red I'm using because it's our skirt color. Wrap it twice onto our hook, put it onto a pair of red singles, onto another pair of red singles, and I want my extension to go right from the waist down, so I'm going to do 1 more. You might want to have your extension only go down the bottom 3, and that's okay too. So I'm putting this on the 4th peg from the top, and I'm going to bring all of those bands on. I'm going to get under the cap there and stretch it to the bottom. And we're going to try to incorporate these bands by bringing one of each up from the bottom and pulling it on top of each of these pegs that are in between. Do one of these for the other side. So a single wrap 3 times, twice, 2 times for 3 loops. Bring that onto a double red, another double red, and one more time. On the other side, 4th peg down. The bands that are on your hook can go right on top. We're going to dig out those bottom 3 capping bands or securing bands at the end, and we'll stretch it until it goes onto that peg, which is 3 pegs down. And we're going to once more grab a couple of the bands, one of the bands from each of our other sets here, and pull it on top of those pegs. So now this is really secure, and we're going to get a nice effect. We're going to do one more cap here, and then we'll start on our legs. I know the order here is a little funny, but it will all work out. So we're going to cap this about 4 times, 3 or 4 times, nice and tight. Going to try for one more. I always find this part to be kind of the hardest part, but there, we always get it. We're going to do our legs. I'm using pink, and I want my legs to be really, really tight, so we'll be doing doubled over bands again. And for my prototype here, I use 7. I don't think we have quite enough space on our loom, so I'm going to do this by hand again. And if you want the white part to be loose, you can do as I did and use 2 single whites. For this version, this time I'm doing this, I'm going to make it a little tighter. So my black bands either which way will go about 4 times, 3 or 4 times onto my hook. And you can either use 2 single whites and keep it loose, or do as I do and put it onto a doubled over white. Put it back. We'll do another doubled over white. And then we're going to bring this onto another 7 sets of doubled over pinks. So this might take a minute. Pause your video if you need a little more time, and you can fast forward if you're ahead of me here. If not, let's start counting. There's 1 and 2 and 3 4 5 6 7, and I'm going to put this right on top of my 7th peg down on the side where our last red went on. We'll just stick that on, try and turn it to the center a little bit if you can, and give it a little tug. We need another leg, so let's go again. Black 3 times onto 2 doubled over whites. I'm a little concerned this is going to make it curve inwards too much, but that's not terrible, and we can always play with things, pull them around a little bit till we get it where we want it. Here we go, and 7 sets of doubled over pink. 1, 2, 3, 4, hang in there, this is the last thing before we leave. 4, 5, 6, and 1 more for 7. Throw this onto your loom the peg on the opposite side, 7th coming down. I'm going to turn it this way so it does curve inwards a little more. Doesn't want to go on there. One more try. Make sure you're getting all of those bands. Sorry you guys, I've got a really slippery one here. And there we are. Let's try this again. Hold on really, really good. Stretch it out, pull it on top. And we're ready to start looping. We're going to stop right near the top to get our shoulder pieces on. But for now, let's just go up. So under that cap on the bottom, pull your bands back to where they came from. My first 2 are going to the side, to the left. And my second 2 should be going to the other side. Just stick those out a little. The last one's going up the center, and we'll finish our center row up while we're at this. So get under your cap band, pull back with the hook, the back of your hook facing you, and we'll keep going up. We'll just stop when we get to the second peg from the top where our neck begins. Coming up the side, go all the way under your extension pieces. If you've put them on, grab your bottom 2, bring them upwards. Pull back with your hook, next 2, bring them up. We'll keep doing this till we get to our shoulder peg. And then we can take those bottom 2 bands from under the arms and bring them to the center. Make sure you get under your arms when you're doing that. Right, other side. Under all your caps and your extension pieces, under the leg pieces, and carefully bring your 2 bands up. They're a little tight here. Next 2. And keep going to the top again. Under your cap. Make sure you're getting under all those triangle bands as you go. So if you pull them up, there won't be anything securing those bands in place. Almost done. Those 2. And now we're going to loop the neck up. So grab the neck pieces from underneath. You might want to turn your loom to the side. We have 3 pieces that we're digging for. We want it to be really thick so it's really sturdy. And the last thing before we take it off is that we're going to take our puffy pieces and we're going to get a hold of it. We're going to slip these on. So grab your neck pieces off the loom, or rather, we'll grab the red piece on our hook first, and we can pull this right on top. So get all of these, and we'll put our red over the neck, and you'll put your other piece of red on, and very carefully remove your body from the loom, and I will see you back for part 2.